Welcome back to Life Unscripted Podcast. I'm your host, Aurelia, and today we have a special guest joining us by the name of Charlotta Marion. How are you doing today?
Great, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in nursing.
Well, I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 21 years now. I have 3 children, let me count, 6 grandchildren now. My daughter just had another little girl. So I have 6 grandchildren, and I have 2 girls, 2 boys are my children. My son is my youngest. He just finished HVAC. My middle one is a manager at a Starbucks and in school right now. And my oldest is in school for her doctorate, and she is a teacher. She teaches 7th and 8th grade ELA.
Wow.
So she's going for her doctorate right now.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what made you choose nursing?
What made me choose nursing? Growing up, I always wanted to be a neurosurgeon, so I know I always wanted to be in medicine. Life kind of changed that. I had my oldest daughter, and I got married, and I came back here. He was in the military, and once we left and came back here to America, back to Detroit.
America? Where were you?
I was in Germany.
Oh, okay.
So,
what part of Germany were you in?
he was at a NATO AWACS base is what it was called.
Okay.
We were in Geilenkirchen, Germany, which is a little closer to the Netherlands than it was actually in Germany. But after that relationship was over and I came back, so me and my 2 daughters, and then I had my son, and I started working at the hospital. And I first worked on an inpatient unit as a secretary, and I went downstairs. I originally, when I first got back, started working at a psych hospital, and they kind of knew a little bit about that at the hospital when I started working there, and asked me if I'd go sit with a psych patient in the ER, and I said sure, so I did, and I went down to the ER and was able to get a job there in the ER, so I transferred down to the ER and been there ever since. When I got down there, I knew I wanted to go back to school. I was a single mother of 3 kids, and I just knew I needed to go back to school. I wanted to go back to school. I knew that being a secretary was not what I was supposed to be doing. I knew I was supposed to be doing something more in the medical field.
Okay.
I went back to school.
Wow. Okay. So, and you went back to school to become an RN.
Yes.
And what specifically made you choose emergency?
I was already in the emergency room. Part of why I like the emergency room is so different every day. And it's puzzles. I like completing puzzles.
Okay.
I like reading. I like mystery. I'm kind of a rom-com person mostly, but I do like figuring things out. And in the ER, I get to ask questions and figure out what's wrong with the patient before the doctor does.
Okay.
And it's so different every day.
Yeah.
And with every patient, so.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Correct.
So did you always know you wanted to become a nurse?
No, like I said, I always wanted to be a neurosurgeon. However, now, I always believe God has a plan for you, so I think this is exactly what I was supposed to be doing. I get to actually touch the patient more.
Okay. Yeah.
And be around the patient more and talk to family, where I would not have had as much of that, especially being an ER doc, or being a neurosurgeon. If that has been what I did, they would all have been under anesthesia, so wouldn't have been a whole
not
lot
able to speak.
Correct, wouldn't have been a lot of talking.
Yeah, and then how long does it take to even become a neurosurgeon? Like, that's like
I will tell you, when I was really little, the reason I even wanted to be a neurosurgeon is because I always wanted to figure out why people thought the way they did. And so as a small kid, I thought if I cut open their head, I would be able to see little people kind of bouncing back and forth, saying, let's do this. And then I could go, oh, that's why they doing that.
Oh my God.
It makes no sense because this little person over here makes no sense.
Right.
But as I got older, I realized that's not quite how it worked. I was like, oh, okay, I want to see that. But It would have probably taken me, because you'd have had to do your residency,
Yeah.
and then you'd have to do your specialty, probably neurosurgery. Can't remember exactly how long it would have taken me, but at least 15, 20, 25 years maybe.
Ooh.
After getting it all done.
That's wow. That's a long time. And then you still gotta continue school.
Right.
Even after.
Even after. However, when I was in the nursing program and we did our surgical rotation,
yeah,
I knew then that surgery, even as a nurse,
mm-hmm.
I would not have been able to do surgery. I personally, I'm an ER nurse, find OR
mm-hmm.
surgery so boring.
Really?
It just seemed like it was monotonous, the same kind of thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a CRNA, I stood in front of a CRNA,
mm-hmm.
And she was crocheting a blanket the whole time surgery was going on, and I thought,
seriously,
where's the nursing in this? Psych was my favorite rotation.
Yeah.
And but I could not do psych nursing because I didn't find that there was enough nursing. Okay. Like I would have lost everything I learned doing psych nursing to me.
Wow.
So.
Wow. But
live and die in the ER.
Psych is, I don't know, it's an experience though.
It was like a family reunion. So I really did like psych.
Yeah.
It was great, but not nursing for me.
So you said ER for life?
For life.
Oh man. Wow. I know that I did work in the ER for a short time, and yeah, I don't know, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I mean, it was nice because you do see, a lot of different patients and stuff like that, but I think that I was so used to being in EMS and having freedom, and then when I got in the ER, it was like lockdown for me.
Right.
And I was like, and I like it. It's nothing wrong with the ER. I mean, it's just a different side
It
though.
is.
So I like being able to see the patient for about 7 to 10 minutes and pass off the care, to the ER. So yeah, it is a little different. So what does BSN and RN actually mean, and what's the difference between the two?
So RN is what you get once you get your associate's degree. So I originally got an associate's degree. So once you become a nurse and pass your board, you get the RN part automatically. The bachelor is just your level of education.
Okay.
So bachelor's of science in nursing. So.
Okay. So that's a big difference.
Yes.
Is there things that you can do with the BSN that you can't do with the RN?
So if you have your associate's degree and your bachelor's, the biggest difference is maybe going into a leadership role.
Okay.
And then you start going for your master's, and then that just determines how high up you go, whether it's chief nursing officer, somewhere in administration, in what we call the C-suite.
Okay.
But leadership mostly is what it does for you. And if you're part of a magnet organization, a lot of times they look for that education. So you can start off as an ADN, which is an associate's degree in nursing, and then going to your BSN. So a lot of magnet hospitals, where I work at a magnet hospital, they will ask that the nurses continue on for their bachelor's.
So they can get hired in with their RN, but they have to go back to school. Do they give them like a time frame?
Usually a couple of years.
Okay. Is it paid for?
We do have tuition reimbursement where I work, so they're able to get tuition reimbursement.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. And so once you become an RN, how long does it take to transition into getting the BSN, or it just depends on like if you're doing full time, like how long would it take generally?
Maybe another year and a half.
Okay.
Depending on how many classes you take.
Okay, not too bad.
No.
Not too bad. What was the hardest part about academics, clinicals, NCLEX, and balancing everything at once?
I would say the hardest part may have been being a single mom, working full time and doing school, being enrolled in school full time. I have to say, if it was not for my mother and my sister getting my kids and taking them to school for me and that support, it probably would have been more difficult to do.
Yeah.
However, I worked full time, sometimes 60 hours a week, and on top of doing my clinical rotations. For me, it was just about what I knew I needed to do.
Yeah.
I didn't have any options. When I started school, the counselor, I started out at Wayne County Community College.
Mm-hmm.
The counselor said, well, you haven't been in school or anything in a while. I was 29, I think, when I started school.
Okay.
And she said, you have kids and you have a man. And at the time, I was with my son's father, and I said, yes. I didn't know what that had to do with anything.
Yeah.
I wanted to take 3 courses. And she
Okay.
said, well, you should just maybe take 1 or 2. You're just getting back in. And I said, no, I'll take 3.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I won't do anything I know I can't do.
Right.
I try not to set myself up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her, no, I want to take the 3 classes. And she told me, well, when you take them, I want to see your grades.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was fine. I didn't have a problem showing her my grades. So I took my first 3 courses and I got all A's, and I went down and I told her, I said, okay, I want to take 3 more. No, I took 4.
Wait, what did she have to say when you came back with all A's?
She didn't say anything. But when I told her I wanted to take the 4 courses,
Mm-hmm.
she says, one of them you couldn't take unless one of your science teachers, so my AMP teacher that I had, or biology teacher I think it was at the time,
Mm-hmm.
had to sign to say that I could take that class
Okay.
at that moment. So I went back and they signed and said I was fine to take it. So I took 4 courses the second time, and she said, so I want to see your grades again.
Mm-hmm.
And she kept saying, I don't think you should take them. I went back, I had 3 A's and a B. I got a B in, I think it was like sociology. I've never been a fan of history or anything. I forget what the course was, but I got a B in it. And so I took it back to her, and she was like, oh, okay. And she said, so what are you doing now? I said, the last 3 classes, because I wanted to take anything that had, there were 9 nursing courses.
Okay.
Even though some of it I could have took while I was in the nursing program,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to take anything but nursing courses, because again, I got 3 kids at home, and I'm still working full time. I wanted to just focus on nursing courses, so
Yeah.
I took the last 3 classes, and I got 3 A's, and so I took that back to her, and I told her, I said, do you want to see my nursing club grades when I get them? And she was like, no, you're okay now. And I'm like, okay, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Wow. I'm glad you didn't let her set the limit.
No, I always tell people I don't fight battles I can't win.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, and I don't try to set myself up for failure. I feel like I know what I can do,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not gonna do any more than that.
Right. I feel you on that. So you went from being a nurse to managing the emergency department. So what made you want to step into leadership?
If you'd have caught me in nursing school or right out of nursing school, I'd have told you were completely wrong. I would never be a manager.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's in my thing. I noticed that all the managers that I had seemed, for me personally, my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
say drink the Kool-Aid, and I can't drink the Kool-Aid. It just was not my thing to do because of the way they were.
Okay.
I didn't feel they were supportive of staff. They were hardly around. I didn't think they were fighting for us.
Okay.
And when I went into the role, I felt like it was the perfect time. The director at the time was great. I learned a lot from him.
Mm-hmm.
The educator that was there at the time was probably one of the best educators that we've had in our department. And then the other manager at the time was my preceptor.
Oh.
And we worked together for years. Our sons are the same age.
Okay.
So I felt like it was the right time, and I felt like we wanted different things for the team,
Mm-hmm.
things that we wanted that we weren't getting.
Okay.
And right now I feel like that's what I do. I'm not on the floor as much.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of meetings
Mm-hmm.
when you get in leadership that pull you away from the team. My team is aware how much they do anything about that, but they're aware I'm 24/7 available to them,
Yeah.
so they can call me anytime if they need anything, or if something's going on if I'm not there. My office door is always open,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in there. They come through and we talk about personal things that's going on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like right now, what I like about management is I personally feel like, and not sure if I convey it a lot to the team, the amount of fighting I do for the EC team.
Okay.
Because I can't say yes to something I wouldn't do as an ER nurse.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter that I'm in leadership. If I wouldn't do it as a nurse, I'm not gonna say okay to it just because I'm in a role and I'm supposed to support things
Absolutely.
that administration says. What I would do is let administration know. I told a president once that wanted something done, and I told him we wouldn't do it, and he said, "Why not?" I said, "Because we can't do it the way you're asking us to do it." And he said, "Well, what can you do?" I said, "You tell me what you want, and then we'll get it done." Especially in the ER, that's kind of how we work anyway.
Yeah.
You tell us what you want, and we'll get it done. And so that's kind of how I am. You can't tell us how to do something in the ER because we don't work the same way as inpatient nursing or other areas of the hospital. So
that makes sense. I mean, it's way faster in the ER than it is on the floor. Yeah. Wow. Take us inside the ER. So what does a typical shift look like for you?
So I'll speak more to when I was on the unit.
Okay.
Actually, on the unit more, because a typical day for me right now is about 6 hours of meetings, and
seriously,
it's a lot of meetings. And the time you get away from a meeting to go back to your desk to do something, it's time to go into another meeting. And often you're double booked with meetings too as a manager. So it's a lot of meetings, especially up during the day. When you're an off shift manager, like my off shift manager has more time to spend on the unit with the team.
Okay.
And I try to come in earlier and you know, I'll walk around, you know, the department every once in a while. But when I was on the floor, there was no typical day, and I didn't like typical days.
Okay.
I wouldn't want the same thing every day, which is why most of us don't work inpatient nursing.
Yeah.
To see the same, like you said, you wanted to be in and out in 7 minutes, drop off the patient and leave. We don't want our patients 3 to 4 hours, if not sooner, and then upstairs in bed or treat and street, as we say, back out, you know, and discharge them.
Yeah.
So we did. My thing was to bond with that patient for that 2 hours, 3, 4 hours that I have with them, and then they leave us.
Yeah.
So there's no typical day. You're kind of waiting for something to come in, and hope it's something. I hate to say it, but hope that it's something good.
No, that's not bad.
We're in the ER, so we kind of, you know, the energy goes up, and you know, if it's a GSW, a gunshot wound, or something comes in, or to see somebody come in that's having a stroke, and we're able to provide them with medication that'll reverse it, and they're up and out of the hospital in a few days. So it's the satisfaction too of seeing people come in and leave happier than they were when they came in.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, somebody told me when I first came out, they was like, what was the biggest thing that has excited you or made you go, yeah, this is the thing for me? Was giving this older gentleman an enema.
What?
He came in and he was in so much pain. And honestly, if you've ever been constipated before, you understand that's an extreme pain. And coming in, and I gave him an enema, and he was a older man, I believe late 70s, early 80s. And I gave him an enema, and afterwards he was so relieved. I remember him crying and thanking me that he was so out of pain. And I was like, this is why I do what I do.
Yeah. Oh, I know about that being constipated. I definitely know. I could thank Tylenol 3s for that. It does, because it's like pressure in your back, and you just feel sick and can't eat. You feel full. Yeah. I can totally
It's a
understand
terrible
that.
pain.
Yeah. Wow. What's something about working in the ER that most people would never understand unless they actually work there?
I would have to say the biggest misconception about the ER when people come in is insurance. I believe people think we know if they have insurance or not, and what kind of insurance they have. We don't know at all whether you have insurance. whether you pay $1 for it or $1 million for it. It is not my job to know whether or not you have insurance. My job is to provide care.
Right.
And that is it. So I think that's the biggest misconception is people coming in, because a lot of times like most hospitals, I think they think that we don't want to treat them a certain way. The thing is, we try to treat as many people as we can, as safely as we can. People come in and they want it quicker. They don't like wait times. So then we have to figure out how to provide that and not give them those wait times. Okay. So we actually see people in the hall, not the way we want to see patients. But if you come in with an ankle injury, to make you wait 2 hours for a patient that has abdominal pain to clear a room, I can put you in the hallway, get an x-ray, and have you out within an hour or two, as opposed to you waiting 2 hours and then back for another 2 hours. So I can cut that time in half for you. So then we'll get people to say, well, I have good insurance. And it has absolutely nothing to do with your insurance.
I can't believe you hear that.
All the time.
Wow.
I have good insurance. I got insurance. I have insurance. We don't care if you have insurance. We really don't. Our job is to take care of you. Nothing in nursing school taught me to check for people's insurance.
Right.
It's just not a thing. And I think that's the biggest misconception. We are wanting to treat you and make you feel better and get you on your way, whichever way that is. We don't know anything about your insurance. Now I can look it up.
I mean, I hear that a lot though too. A lot of people say, I got insurance, or actually I hear the opposite. Honestly, it's like, I don't have insurance, and they feel like that the hospital is going to treat them like shit, basically. Right. So I do hear that a lot. But that's not the case though.
Not at all. We don't know. We don't know. Not in the ER. Now, I don't think inpatient nursing knows either. I don't think nursing cares, obviously. I don't care about your insurance. My job is to keep you, the first thing I'm taught in nursing school is keep your patient alive. 12-hour shift, you keep your patient alive. And that's it. And that has nothing to do with your insurance. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, if we could get that from being what people think we're thinking about when we treat them, it doesn't change how we treat you either way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I don't know what could fix that though. I mean, people, they want to think what they want to think at the end of the day, and like, they'll come in, and some people will hide the fact that they don't have insurance, but they feel like that, you guys are going to turn them away. Like, I've heard people even say stuff like that, but it's a lot of people out there that don't understand how it works, when they walk through the ER. So nurses see people during some of the worst moments of their lives. How do you keep yourself from bringing home bad experiences you've had?
Again, I'm gonna speak for ER nurses. A lot of us learn to coping mechanisms. I'd have to say probably one of the coping mechanisms for nurses in the ER is laughter.
Okay.
So we tend to probably appear to laugh at the worst times. However, it is to keep us from crying because we have to continue seeing patients. So our goal is to go in and do what it is we need to do, and then we have to go see our other patients. So if we get a code that comes in, I'm always telling everybody, you do everything you're supposed to do. You got to remember we're a vessel being used. We don't get to determine life and death. We're doing everything we're taught to do. But at the end of the day, if I'm saving lives, I would always, everybody that entered that recess room or trauma bay, we're doing CPR on, would live if it was left up to me. So my thing is, as long as we know we're doing everything we were trained to do, taught to do, and we're doing it, to the best of our ability, and we've done everything we can do, then you figure out how to live with that, right? So a lot of times what we're doing now in the ER is debriefing, like just getting together, talking about what happened, um, and giving the team an opportunity to kind of get out what happened, what went well, how they're feeling behind it, um, and then they go back out on the floor.
Okay.
If they need time off the floor, they always know that if they ever need time off the floor for anything, it could be their dog passed away 2 weeks ago, but they're having a moment at work, then they know it. They just go to the charge nurse and say, hey, I need a few minutes. Everybody is usually aware, usually wraps their arms around everybody when something is going on anyway. So I think that's one of the reasons I've been at that hospital for as long as I have.
Okay.
Is because they are a good group of people that really care about each other.
Okay.
So
that's good to hear. Like during COVID and everything like that, I know you guys probably dealt with a lot of those moments at that time, losing patients and stuff like that. How did you handle that?
I have to say I was just a big supporter. My role as a leader at that time was to make sure they had everything they needed. We wasn't sure what was going on, what we were fighting.
Yeah.
So I remember having a meeting. I think it was March the 13th. It was a Friday, because I was supposed to go work at I worked a second job because I liked still taking care of patients. When I was supposed to go to work, and they called this emergent meeting.
Okay.
So I had to cancel where I was going to work at, and they said, okay, this is what's going on. We had a young man that came in. We tested on that Monday. By that Friday, we found out he was positive for COVID. Still at that point, like I said, had no clue what was going on. So they go, okay, what are we going to do? So we just thought, okay, we'll just take care of patients the way we've been taking care of them with this extra little precaution. Well, there was a well-known DJ in Detroit. Been a DJ for years, even back when I was in school. And he ended up with COVID. And he had a little club.
Okay.
He had a club at the time. And so he ended up at our hospital and then posted on Facebook or something that he had it, and that if anybody was at his establishment, they needed to come to this hospital because they were taking great care of them. Well, we were seeing maybe 140, 150 people roughly a day at that point before then, and it fluctuated. After he put that out, it's like immediately overnight we were seeing well over 200 people.
Wow.
Which was a lot for us. So
Yeah.
then we were like, well, what do we do with these people? Because we can't bring all these people in the hospital. So then we had to set up this tent outside and treat people outside. And my job as the manager was to make sure the team had everything they needed. So they said, Charlotta, this is what we need. I said, okay. I went and figured out how to get it for her. Even when it came down to right in the beginning, PPE, so personal protective equipment, I didn't wear a mask for the longest because I felt like I wasn't out there, again, not knowing what we're treating either.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not touching these patients. I'm not on the floor like they are. We never ran out of equipment like it was widespread on the news that hospitals, at our hospital, we never ran out of anything. So I still wasn't sure if that was going to happen. So for me, I felt kind of awkward protecting myself from something I wasn't really doing.
Yeah.
I wasn't around the patients like that. I was in the department and walking around, but then I found that the team, what they needed was, and what made them really happy, was the amount of food that we got in. So a lot of people started bringing in food for us, and calling and saying they wanted to bring us food or send us food. I actually ended up, a big part of my job during that time was keeping the area where we were eating at clean, making it look nice, because I didn't want it to just look like they were just running in and getting food. I wanted it to feel like they were at a potluck or something.
Yeah.
I wanted the environment to be nice, so I kept that up. And organized food, because the thing is, I didn't want you bringing in pizza and somebody else bringing in pizza on the same day, and on Monday, and then on Tuesday there was nothing. So when people were calling, I had a calendar I created, and I said, okay, wait, can you send lunch on Thursday instead?
Yeah.
And they were fine with it, and so I actually made it so that the team had food lunch and dinner every day for probably a month and a half or two.
Wow, that's impressive.
It was really nice, the amount of support we got from the neighbors in the community. It was really nice.
Wow, that sounds really nice. And I can see, why you needed to create a calendar and stuff.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. And the fact that you was able to stretch it out for a month and a half, that's pretty good.
Yeah, they were really upset after because the food stopped.
Oh, I know.
And they like to eat in the ER. It's a lot of pizza. There was one day that the people would just drop stuff off too, so I couldn't kind of organize that. But there's one day we had so much pizza, I walked around the hospital giving out pizza to other departments because it was just so much food coming to us in the ER.
Wow.
A lot of food. I really felt bad for ICU. Now the ICU team is the ones I think, and probably every hospital got hit the hardest.
Yeah.
Because even though we got them in the ER, there were some that passed away in the ER. We were able to still get them upstairs to ICU the majority of the time, and that's where they would pass away. So they saw a lot of death up there, and I felt really bad for that group, that team. And where I work at is a smaller team, but they all pulled together. They were single private rooms, and they did what they had to do to make sure that everybody got upstairs and was taken care of. They did an amazing job there. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Wow. We hear a lot about nurse burnout. From your experience, what causes it?
Not knowing that you probably shouldn't have went into nursing.
Really?
I've been a nurse for 21 years, and I don't understand the burnout, me personally, but I just may be built differently. Because there's some people that have come into the ER, and the ER is not for everybody. So then they go into something where we say ER nurses go to die in places like endo and OR because they feel like it's not as much to do. Like it's not as quick, fast paced as the ER. But there are people that come in, become a nurse, and after a year go into things like care management. Which I don't want to put care management nurses down. I love our care management team, so I don't want anybody to take offense to it, but it is not physically having to go in and clean up after patients or administer medications.
So it's more like desk?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's more like being a leader. A manager. I got desk work.
Yeah.
I don't have to do all of that stuff anymore. So yeah, I don't, I think they think that, I have no clue what people think when they say they are burnt out. I don't know, other than the fact that I think you probably should not become a nurse, because a lot of these nurses are younger, and I don't know if they thought it wasn't going to be as much work. I'm not really certain how you get burnt out. If you get, for me, what would make me more burnt out is the complaints without suggestions. That I get burnt out from hearing that.
Yeah.
This isn't being done, or this place is this way. We don't have this. And then it's, well, what do you want? Well, I don't know. Well, okay.
So how
get back with me when you know what you want, right? There's no way to, I'm sorry, I don't understand burnout personally, other than it's just not what you should be doing for a career.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people come into nursing thinking they're going to get rich from it. You're not going to get rich becoming a nurse. Now you can travel around, whatever, and you can make some money, you can make more money. A lot of the younger, single, no children, they could still young enough to stay with their parents, still be on their insurance and things like that. They can make a good little bit of money. However, you're single, no kids, you live with mom and dad, so you don't own a house, you don't have anything to write off. Even though that money looks good, your taxes will hit you. So you're not getting most of that money anyway, right?
Yeah.
But we took a class with this lady that used to come and teach a bunch of different classes, and um, she said that people in my generation, um, we lived to work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My thing was to work as much as I can, take care of these 3 kids that I have, provide for them, make life better for them.
Mm-hmm.
But now the younger generation coming in, work to live. So I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna make a couple $1,000s or more in a month, and then I'm gonna take a trip.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna go back to work, and then I'm gonna take a trip. Then I'm gonna run out of PTO, and then I'm gonna be mad at my manager because she won't let me off because I don't have enough PTO. And well, you worked your 3 days, and that's fine. Nobody's saying you have to. I'll never tell anybody to work more than they have to work.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're coming in and you're wanting these things and whatnot, and I just think maybe you kind of have to focus your energy where it best fits you.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of them may not need to be in nursing, because they're burning out way sooner than I think people in my age range did.
Yeah.
For us, it's mostly just our knees and stuff are getting better.
Mm-hmm.
We're making noises from standing up or sitting down, that type of thing, but we still get up and go to work every day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think a lot of people get into nursing, like you said, they'll get into it for the money. And we all know we've ran into a lot of nurses that are not great nurses. Some of the terrible attitudes really not there for patient care. So yeah, I've definitely experienced that before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, wow. Well, what personality traits do you think someone needs to succeed in the emergency room?
Me personally, I think you have to be half crazy.
What?
You have to have you definitely have to be kind, caring, understanding, compassionate, because you are getting in the ER. You're getting everybody when they come in. They're mad. They're angry. They're in pain,
Mm-hmm.
and they want all of that to go away. They're uncertain of what's going on.
Yeah.
They want to make sure they're not dying. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always. I have a lump right here on my breast. It's
Mm-hmm.
cancer and I'm dying. Well, they may have forgot that they got hit or something, and But the thing is, our job is to keep them calm, reassure them, find out, and then help them leave feeling better than they did. So you have to have that kind of personality where you're caring, kind of compassionate. However, because we are also there, the first line,
Mm-hmm.
when people come in and they're upset and angry. You got to be tough. Again, half crazy, because I can't tell you how many times I've been called something that is not my first name.
Yeah.
Spit at, swung on.
Oh my God.
We've had people that had thought that throwing feces was part of the Olympics, I guess. I don't know. But that has happened. And yet we keep working through it.
Yeah.
And we don't think much of it at all. We tend to be the ones that don't complain as much when it comes to, like inpatient, we found would write a lot of complaints. Oh, this patient came up this way. This patient had a wet brief on, and we're like thinking to ourselves, we just got spit on, and somebody just threw something at us or whatever.
Happened.
So we've got all this going on. So we're sorry, but it get to change that brief. Now for us, this the patient that needs the brief change, right? So at the end of the day, we want to make sure it happens. It's not that we do it purposely. It's just that we were into all this other stuff, and it didn't get done before they went upstairs. We could have done it 50 other times, but because this one time it wasn't done. So you have to be tough skin, thick skin, and understanding. You have to have the ability, I think, too, to be able to talk to any and everybody, which I find kind of difficult with a lot of the younger members of the team. They text a lot, right? Their cell phones and stuff is a whole thing now, where When I grew up, it was the pager. Um, and then I think it was some little chirp phone or something. Well, I mean, I remember I had the real big bag phone too
Yeah.
that sat in the car, and he thought you was something because you had this big diaper bag phone on your side. But we were made to talk.
Yeah.
We were made to communicate with people. So now, where if you're yelling at me, some of the younger team members will say something back. Well, you're not going to talk to me like that. And they don't understand all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to make that person do more.
Yeah.
Where I may say, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to ask you not to cuss at me or respect me because that's what I'm respecting you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different way to do things. Now, not everybody's going to, we still have people that no matter what I say to them,
Yeah.
they still want to yell. And we had a young lady the other day, we tried our best to calm her down and take care of her.
Mm-hmm.
And she just would not listen. She kept yelling.
Wow.
Threatening.
Mm-hmm.
We always get that it's not a threat, it's a promise.
Oh, wow.
And they don't understand. We don't have to take that no matter what's wrong with you. Now, if you come in and we think that you're under the influence of something and something is going on, we'll take you back and figure that out. But we can tell that you're clearly alert and oriented and you're purposely just feeling the need to be rude or disrespectful.
Yeah.
We don't have to tolerate threats. I don't allow that for my team either. Mm-hmm. If I can't get you to calm down, if I can't de-escalate the situation, then I'm gonna have security escort you out.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to. There's nothing saying that we have to get abused to take care of you.
Wow. Oh, that's a lot. How do you handle an employee who has excellent clinical skills but a terrible attitude?
I always tell people that I can't change how you practice, just where you practice. Meaning at some point, we're gonna have to let you go and you get to practice somewhere else. We have stages in our corrective action process.
Okay.
So depending on what this team member is doing or saying or how their personality is, if it's egregious enough, I can skip steps. If not, there's 4 steps to it for us at the hospital I'm at. So unfortunately, you can be out there doing what you're doing for a while before I can turn you from your role. Usually I bring people in when I talk to them, and I always want to find out what's going on. Because for me, I feel like there's always a reason people do what they do. Now, whether we gotta like the reason or it's an acceptable reason, there's just always a reason for what you're doing. So I usually ask, are you okay? I don't know everybody's personal. I don't know if you're having a hard time with your boyfriend or girlfriend or what's going on with. So I will ask. And you don't have to tell me. I always tell people I can't help you though if I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type of person, and most of the team will tell you, if you tell me you have something going on, I'm going to try to figure out how to work that out for you. I had a young lady who, she was divorcing her husband, and he thought he was going to get her fired because she kept being late to work. So I had to talk to her about being late to work. And then she told me, he said he's going to get me fired because he won't come pick the kids up on time. Okay, well, that won't happen on my watch. So what I did was I pushed back her time. She didn't tell him, and so she was on time for work, even though he thought he was getting her fired. Once he realized she wasn't going to get fired, he then started picking the kids up on time.
Wow.
So I'll figure things out.
Yeah.
Again, being a single mother coming from where I came from, I'm in a more, for me, understanding place when things are going on with my team members. Where we've had some of our team members threatened by their ex-husbands or current lovers or whatnot. My thing is to protect that person. And so I'm going to do whatever I need to do those things. But if I'm talking to you, I'm going to try to help you. I'm going to give you advice on how you can change things or say things to people. And if you don't want to accept any of that and you continue to do what you do, then we'll find you a different place to practice nursing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, be honest. Do employees really think managers don't know what's going on when management usually already knows?
I'd have to say that the team probably think management doesn't know what's going on. And I can completely understand why they think that, because again, we are in so many meetings. One of the last directors I had, and this is kind of the way I did things, but her saying, I kind of grabbed and made it mine, adopted it. People before paper.
Okay.
Because that's our thing. Paper, meetings. So I end up doing a lot of work when I get home from work. Because otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get out on the floor. As much as administration would love for us to get out on the floor and be around our team members and they want us to talk to them, but I don't think they're understanding. You pay me for 8 hours. Now, granted, anybody that's in a leadership position knows that more than likely we're working anywhere from 50 to 60 hours, paid for 40.
Yeah.
Right? And we understand that, and most of us are okay with it. I'm okay with it. I understand too, when I get off from work, they're allowed to call me if they need to about anything, and I'm supposed to be there for them. I'm all about it. I was in Punta Cana talking to a team member about something. I'm always available. It doesn't matter to me. However, they're wanting more from us sometimes, and we're not able to give that to them. And because we're so removed from the floor, a lot of times, and I'm always telling my team, you run the department, you're out there, don't have me coming out there, I sit in the office. So when I do come out there, even when there was some moment after COVID, we lost a lot of staff. Travel nursing, and the money was nice, which I was fine with. I told all of them, go out there and make that money.
That was when the nurses were like picking up assignments?
Yes, in different places and whatnot. I had to work the floor, not a problem. And so I wouldn't take the charge nurse phone. Give me an assignment. I don't want to come out and then still be the manager and the leader. That's not what you asked me to do. You said you needed help on the floor. Well, I'm still a nurse. Always be a nurse. Nurse comes first for me. So I'm going to go on the floor. Give me my assignment. I'll take care of patients. So, you know, it's just the way some managers are. So I could understand why team members, because again, that was one of the reasons I didn't want to be a manager.
Wow.
So I believe that they have every right to feel the way they feel a lot of times. I just think that, I think sometimes shadowing a manager though would help them understand what we're doing and why we're not available, which is typically why a lot of times, and I forget a lot, but I'll usually post my calendar, my daily calendar, so that they can see, oh, she's in a meeting all day. All that pinked out stuff on my calendar is meetings or something, so they can see it's not a lot of time.
Do they have like somebody else to talk to if you're not available?
Well, during the day, no.
Oh.
There's the charge nurse.
Okay.
So they usually go to charge nurse and then to me. Otherwise, no.
So that's when it has to wait till you get done with work, and then you have to respond to people.
Right.
So work doesn't end when you walk out the door, and you
No,
still have to
not
work
at all.
when you get home.
Not at all.
Wow. What is harder to manage, employee drama or patient drama?
Employee drama.
Really?
Because the patient's going to be gone in a couple of hours.
Okay.
The employees are coming back. And typically it lingers for no reason at all. I guess, again, I might be a little different in the way I think about things. If I have an issue with you, one, I'm going to find out if you have an issue with me. Because a lot of times it's, oh, I heard Audrey saying something. She was laughing when I walked past. You talking to somebody else. Well, that may not have had anything to do with me. So I'm going to pull you to the side and go, hey, Audrey, is everything okay? We cool or whatever. Do you have an issue with something I've done or said or whatnot? And then you can tell me. I can tell you I didn't appreciate what you said to me a certain way. I always say, you can tell me I don't care. Or you can say, oh, I'm really sorry, that's not the way I meant it. So a lot of times we're holding on to something and the other person may not even realize that they came off a certain way.
That's true.
So for me, it's always talk to that person first and find out. And again, if I come to you and say, hey, Audrey, when you said this, it made me feel a certain way, and you're like, oh, I don't really care. Deal with it. Okay. For me, then, I just know how to handle you. I no longer, I'm going to speak.
Yeah.
Because that's just what I do. But I don't have to be friends with you.
Mm-hmm.
I have to work with you, and I have to treat patients safely. So then if there's something that has to do with patients, then I have to be able to talk to you for us to give a report for this patient,
Mm-hmm.
or need your assistance to help with the patient. If you say, hey, Charlotta, can you help me with this patient? I'm going to come and help you. I just probably won't hang out with you at a club, which I don't go to anyway. But I'm not gonna hang out with you outside of work.
Cool outside of work.
No.
I understand that. What would you say to a person watching this episode that's thinking about becoming a nurse, but doesn't believe that they're capable of doing it?
I think everybody knows what they're capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as far as going to school and things like that, if this is something you really want to do, I say go into it knowing you really want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Go shadow somewhere, and not for just one time. Because you can come to the ER at a certain time of the day and there's nothing going on, and you think, oh, this is great and amazing.
Yeah.
And then you come back another day and, we got 2 people in the trauma room,
Mm-hmm.
somebody chest being pumped on, and, we don't get anybody getting a chest cut at our hospital or cracked chest or anything, but you could have that psych patient running around the ER throwing
Mm-hmm.
stuff that shouldn't be thrown. So really do your research. I say for anything you do,
Mm-hmm.
do your research. Know what you're getting into. Talk to people.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what you do. What do you think about it? Now, we're all going to have our own spin on it, but then it's for you to decide what you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it really is just doing your research. You have to be ready to give of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of my interview questions now. Do you do any community work or volunteer work?
Mm-hmm.
For me, if somebody will give to someone they don't know and give their time to someone that they don't know, there's a different level of compassion in you. I do a ton of community events and work or whatever. I just feel like that person that's willing to do that can handle taking care of patients differently.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's just really, again, doing research. And if you think it's about the money, if you're young, stay young and single and never have any kids, it's good money.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start having a family and stuff, it's not that. So if you're going into nursing for money, first of all, if you're going to anything for money and not because you love doing it,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to work out well for you.
Nope.
But you really need to research it.
Oh, for sure. If somebody wanted to shadow nursing, doing a shadow of a nurse at an ER, do they give them a week to shadow? Is there a certain time period? Because like you said, some days may be slow. Right. And
so usually when we have people to come in and shadow, they just want to shadow at one time.
Okay.
So they come in and we have them shadow with the nurse. We usually try to get people to come in the busiest part of our day, which is usually somewhere between 11 and 2300,
Mm-hmm.
or 11 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
So we usually try to get them to shadow in that time period. If they want to come back another day, they can.
Yeah.
But typically they only just come to one time because they're usually bouncing around trying to figure out where they want to go. And usually they're already a nursing student.
Okay.
Yeah, hardly ever do we get anybody that's thinking about becoming a nurse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today on Life Unscripted.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.